So why do we fail so often in creating different habits, new habits, or eliminating old habits? It's because very often we are relying on motivation. And motivation is something that's just not dependable. It can fluctuate from one day or another depending on your mindset. What you've got to have is something a whole lot more solid to anchor your progress toward your aspiration. We don't really think of it as a goal. You can't achieve good sleep, you can't achieve being thinner by just deciding you are going to do that. We're going to build habits in such a way that they are those little changes are achievable and they get you to that place where you want to be. So you need to get very clear on what your aspirations are. What do you want to achieve and how badly do you want it? Are you willing to make the changes? Because sometimes we're just not ready. When it comes to creating that habit change, the behavior changes, you might want to consider what your behavior change options are. And that's where we have the swarm of behaviors. You can see why I'm a coach and not an artist. As you think about what you want to achieve, and in this case I've written stress. If you want to reduce your stress, what could you do that would get you toward that goal of your reduced stress? It's a great idea because the mind sort of absorbs much better what you actually physically write. To sit down and create a board, you could do like little sticky notes, you could just draw squares like I do here, or you could do anything that you want to do to place that goal here in the center and all the different kinds of habits and behaviors that would get you toward that goal. In this case, in the goal of reduced stress, let's say some of your options might be, I could leave work earlier. I could come home and play with the kids and de-stress that way. I could go take the dog for a walk. I could go spend some time gardening. I could go home and sit down and read a book. I could take a walk. There are a gazillion things you can do to reduce your stress. Please promise me you won't just go sit down and have a bowl of ice cream. That's going to take you toward in a different direction. So write down these habits that you, no matter how crazy, how outlandish, I mean, just really, just throw that spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. It's just an idea to get you thinking creatively. Then you're going to reduce this number of options by considering which ones best fit your goal and which ones are things that you're going to be willing to do. You don't want to try to bolt on motivation later because that just doesn't work. It's got to be something that's simple, easy, and that you are willing and would look forward to doing. In other words, could you imagine doing that thing on your hardest day? And as you get all of these things written out, we're going to collect them, and in the next video, we're going to talk about what you're going to do with them. Just remember, for right now, just think creatively. You are that scientist in the habit lab. What are your options, and what will get you to your major discoveries?